Democrats running for president have no shortage of cash. Senator Kamala Harris and her husband top just about all of them. The senator from California and her husband, lawyer Douglas Emhoff, reported about $1.9 million in adjusted gross income last year. Their income more than doubles the next highest earning candidate in the 2020 primary field. So, how did they come by their cash? Harris wasn't always this rich. She made six-figure salaries during her years as Attorney General, first for San Francisco and then the state of California. Then, her household income skyrocketed in 2014 when she married Emhoff and they first filed their taxes jointly. They reported $1.2 million in adjusted gross income that year. The couple has stacked up wealth along the way. Harris listed assets worth between $2.5 million and $5.8 million on a 2018 Senate financial disclosure form. They also had between $2.8 million and $3.6 million in liabilities. That's tied up in mortgages, home equity lines of credit, and a commercial loan. And Emhoff rakes in millions as an intellectual property lawyer in California. He made a whopping $1.5 million last year alone. More cash is starting to flow into Harris's pocket, too. She reported about $157,000 in earnings from the Senate last year. That's a hike from what she made as California Attorney General in 2016. But that's not where she makes her big bucks. Harris reported about $320,000 in net income from her memoir, The Truths We Hold. It was released in January 2019 as Harris geared up for her presidential campaign. Since she won her Senate seat in 2016, Harris has been seen as a strong presidential candidate, but she struggled for a breakthrough into the top tier of the Democratic field. That was until the first 2020 presidential debate, where she confronted former Vice President Biden about his record on race.
But I also believe, and it's personal, and it was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing. And, you know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
Harris isn't the only Democrat at the front of the pack making big money. Senator Elizabeth Warren and her husband Bruce Mann made nearly $850,000 in 2018. Senator Bernie Sanders and his wife Jane made $560,000 in 2018, after raking in more than $1 million in 2016 and 2017 each. Biden hasn't unveiled his tax returns yet, but he reportedly made millions after leaving the White House in 2017. Still, Harris and Emhoff's 2018 haul is easily the highest of all the candidates who have released their taxes. That could put Harris in an awkward spot as she vies to take on President Donald Trump.
There's a lot of talk in this primary about new government benefits, such as student loan cancellation, free college, health care, and more. Do you think that Democrats have a responsibility to explain how they will pay for every proposal they make along those lines?
Well, let me tell you something. I hear that question, but where was that question when the Republicans and Donald Trump passed a tax bill that benefits the top 1% and the biggest corporations in this country?
When we reached out to the Harris campaign, a spokesman said she is committed to lifting up average Americans. He said her agenda is meant to address their needs and improve their lives. Harris opposed the 2017 GOP tax law, which cut rates for most Americans but slashed taxes on the wealthiest. She wants to reverse those cuts and give up to $6,000 a year in tax credits to working and middle-class Americans instead. She also marched with striking McDonald's workers in Las Vegas, who pushed for higher wages and changes to harassment policy. But the fact remains, Harris is still technically a millionaire, and we'll see if that affects her image as a champion for the working class as the 2020 election season unfolds.